Kim and Josh with Haunt Talk. In this episode, we're going to do our review on Terror Town, which is located in Toledo, Ohio.
Yep. We went to this on our way back from Michigan. We did our other reviews, which you should watch Erebus and The Haunted Farm of Terror, which they should already be online, because I believe I'm going to do those before this one.
Well, now that you said it, you have to.
Oh, yeah.
Shit. Alright, so, this is one we wanted to check out on our way back, because we had heard good things on a few different sites about.
Yeah, and it's always like, it always comes up in the top of like, when you go to Haunt World and select your state, it's always up there in the banners, and you know, I've read good reviews from other sites on it, so I'm like, well, this is a place I want to go to.
And I'm sure we didn't go to the wrong place, because we clicked
this was
on
it.
this.
This was the place.
This
Don't give too much away. Now, there are two haunts. There's the main haunt, Terror Town. Oh, it has a separate name. I forget what the main haunt's name is.
Doom?
That's the other one. But they have two haunts. Oh. One's always like a little side haunt that's really short. It's like 5 minutes long, and I just heard lots of bad things about it. All it was is just a blackout haunted house. It's $5 extra. We're like, we just want to do the main haunt. We didn't want to do...
It was already late, because like, we were on our way back from Michigan.
Yeah.
This place doesn't even open until 8 o'clock, so we're like, we still have like a couple hours to get home, so let's just do this one.
Yeah.
Because that's the one we heard.
But that's the one everyone goes for. The other ones is like a little extra if you want a little more. But this is the main thing. It's not like there's a whole bunch. There's just two, and this was the main one.
Yeah.
So I guess we might as well review the main haunt then for you.
Okie dokie. For actors, we did a 7. There wasn't a lot.
No, there was not a lot. They need more.
Yeah.
Definitely need more.
Yeah. I mean, the ones that were there were not bad. They were all in character. They did their acting job.
Yeah. Yep, for the most part, the Vortex Tunnel woman was a little annoying, I think. Yeah, she was a little bit, like, bossy in a weird way.
I couldn't hear from where I was, so...
It was a little bit strange, but, that actually happened a couple times, but the people that are actually acting in there, like, there's a guy, like, by these different doors and stuff, like, which way to go. He did a good job, and like, so the people that were there...
The one thing I do remember about the Vortex Tunnel, which I thought was weird, is she, like, takes 5 minutes to explain to you what a Vortex Tunnel is, which... I'm pretty sure if you've been to a haunted house, you know what a vortex tunnel is. You don't need to explain it to people. Yeah, we'll get more into the vortex tunnel and why it's different later, but even if the vortex tunnel is slightly different, you don't need to go and waste all of our time explaining how to go through a vortex tunnel. Yeah. It's pretty common sense. I don't think there's any reason to stop someone, just to let them go through. Yeah. So yeah, actors was a 7. They were... Which I actually explained in another part, which is weird, through the haunted house. I forgot about this. I want to point this out. When you go, they tell you not to go through the curtains. Not to go through any curtains, because that's bad, so it's the actor side. Instead of coming up with hiding places for the actors, there's just these curtains. And they're like, oh, don't go through those. They tell you, don't go through the curtains, because that's not cool. Yeah. Just like, weird. Okay. Yeah. Props, we did a 6. Yeah. Now, they have a lot. A lot. However... 80%, I would say, that's safe, we're not working. Yeah. It was to the point where there was one really cool one, and we're like, okay. We're like walking as slow as we can, like hoping this thing's going to activate. In the graveyard? Yeah. Yeah. So it was this really cool tree thing, and we wanted to see it. So I'm like, we're walking by, and I'm like, okay, apparently it isn't going to work. And right when we get through it, there's like this actor inside of a coffin, and it like raises up, and he's like, oh, but this one's working. I'm like... Yeah, that was kind of shitty. Yeah, I know it wasn't doing anything. Yeah, like, okay, all you did was raise out... You could have easily just been sitting inside the coffin and just stood up as easily as this thing moved you up, so... Yeah. All of the props just felt just shoved in places, and they just weren't working. The one we walked by, you could hear the air compressors just shooting off because... We'll talk about it a little more, but the sound's just not very good in the place. So you could easily hear... all of, like, the air compressors, and just, like, almost every prop we walked by didn't do anything. Like, you could tell it was supposed to. Because you could hear, like, where it should be working, but it just wasn't working. Right, or, like, things you could tell an actor's supposed to be inside of that prop. Like, there's this prop, like, with a gargoyle where the person pretends to be that, and they jump bungee. Off. Yeah. Just completely missing. Yeah. No. Yeah. I don't know if that one is a bungee, because it was outside in the graveyard, but it was just supposed to make them... It had straps on it. Okay, but it's just supposed to make them look like they were a gargoyle, but there's absolutely no one in there. Yeah. So we'll just get into design since we've mentioned that a little. We gave a 4.5. Lighting was terrible. Lighting was really bad. Now, this place is tore down and rebuilt each year, but you can still have a good haunted house and do that. Check our Canfield review.
The way I described it is, we haven't done a review on it, but we've been there multiple times. It's kind of like going through 7 floors of hell, but just a really, really large 7 floors of hell haunted house.
Yeah. The very beginning, it wasn't a maze because you weren't lost. I don't really know what it was. You were just walking like through these like
hallways. It might have been a maze,
but there's no way you could get lost in it.
Right. I don't really remember that part so much, but like the lighting, yeah, it wasn't dark enough to really.
Yeah, it wasn't dark enough to be considered like a blackout maze, but it wasn't lit enough to just be like walking through and seeing things.
Yeah.
So I'm not really sure what the point of that was.
There's only a couple actors. Yeah, they didn't even need to be there at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they need music going on because, like I said, being able to hear a prop going off totally ruins it.
Oh yeah, there's just like almost no sound at all in the place, and the music that was there was turned down really low.
Yeah, so it's almost like this awkward silence feeling, and not like a creepy like, oh, it's so quiet, what's going on? No, it's like well, this feels awkward.
And they pumped people through really quickly.
Oh yeah.
I mean, like there's just hordes of people, so like even the chance that the few actors that were there scaring us was kind of ruined by that.
Yeah, we had a group of 4 with us, and they stuck us with another group of like 4 or 5 people.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that wasn't cool.
No. But yeah, the design overall was just kind of lackluster. Like everything lacked polish. And I mean, maybe they could just like cut some of the fat out if they don't have enough time to make it as good as it could be. They could cut down some scenes, cut down on the money for animatronics, and actually just like build better scenes or pay more actors or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Value we gave a 6. This is just for the main haunt. We're not counting in the one that we didn't do with it. It's $20, and it's 20 minutes.
Yeah, it's 20 minutes of a very ho-hum haunted house.
Yeah. So, had it been 20 minutes of awesome, then it would have been a better value, but 20 minutes of walking through something. So
you're paying $1 a minute to see, and a lot of that's because they stop you and explain rules to you.
Yeah.
Which is just silly, but... I mean, I guess that just takes us to our overall score then, which
was a 5. It's a very average haunted house.
5 is average, and that's exactly what this place is. It's just, there's nothing special about it, but it's also not terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, I've definitely been to worse.
Oh yeah, I've been to worse. Like, I'm not repulsed by this place.
Right, but it's just they relied way too heavy on their big animatronics. That might have been okay if they would have worked at all.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just so many things I saw. I'm like, ooh, what's this going to do? Like, I know one room we walked into that had like this... Egyptian like sarcophagus, and like nothing happened. Like I'm like, oh, this is gonna open up, and we stood there, nothing.
Nothing.
And that's just pretty much what happened continuously. So it's just a disappointment.
Just like you could see where the
sensors.
Yeah, the sensors were, and I was like purposely stepping on them multiple times, and nothing.
Which also, haunted houses, you should probably hide those better. You use like the laser tripwires or something, not the tripwires, but the little things where you break the laser, it sets them off instead of, because of step ones, you can see.
And if you're going to have the step ones, have it so like it's not as obvious that's what it is.
Yeah, like put it under a larger map.
Yeah.
Anyways, though.
But speaking of things that are impressive.
Yeah. You know what is impressive?
Documentaries.
Documentaries that are like almost 2 hours long.
You know what my favorite kind of documentary is, though? The ones about haunted houses.
Oh, yeah.
Those ones are the best.
I wish someone would make one of those.
I think I know someone that did.
Oh, yeah, us. Yeah, we did that thing. You should probably watch it. It's on Vimeo On Demand. It's $5 to rent, $10 to buy, which is a steal, mind you. It has Wells Township Haunted House, Schoolhouse
and Laboratory,
Schoolhouse and Haunted Laboratory, Factory of Terror, and Bloodview Haunted House. If you want to know, the stuff that goes into making the props, building the scenes, the design, and as we pointed out before in other videos, the passion, which is the most important thing. We talk about that a lot. You get to see that, how much passion and heart is put into these haunts, and just kind of the difference in what budgets do, and for how big budget places manage their money, and how lower budget places manage their money to, make up the difference. Mm-hmm. Right? But
it's very interesting.
Yeah. So give it a watch. The link will be down in the description. Mm-hmm. Thank you very much for watching.
Thank you.